Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We is them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Rumpus in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.
What is up, guys? What's for this time, man? And I'm in your Howse. And you guys already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to professional wrestling business. And guys, it is another Sunday fun day. We got some wrestling to talk about. A lot of things going on. We just came off of Friday night Smackdown, and man, also a lot of releases that happened. A lot of good talents lost work, and we're going to definitely talk about that. But like I said, SmackDown, we have Backlash to look forward to as well. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Still going down the In Your House draft, and you have some new information on that. But we'll get into all that and more. First, I got to bring in my great team here. We talked a little bit about SmackDown. This is my guy who does this thing on SmackDown. That's on Fridays. He talks all things SmackDown in his room, and that is the blue-eyed villain, the Grundmeister. What is up, man?
Yo, what is up? SmackDown was good. Releases suck, but we know it happens.
Yeah, most definitely, man. And what's going on with the upgrade in your room over there, man? Like this is a whole new setup here.
Per my lawyer, I am not allowed to speak on how I have obtained such things.
Oh, all right. You know what? Let me mind my business then. I'm gonna mind my business. All right, but it's a nice upgrade though. I like it. It's fancy.
It's very nice. It's very nice.
Yeah, absolutely fancy, man. Fancy. And man, let's bring in our guy here. We talk about SmackDown, and on Fridays we talk about Mondays. Monday Night Raw. You could hit him up all things Monday Night Raw. Also all things ECW on Thursdays. That's the educator of extreme, as I call him, and that is the voice, Josh. What is up, man?
How goes it, House? How goes it, household? Grunts, friends, my friends, Chaos Goblins. I'm here. Any Hypodelphia people, you know, we like you guys too. But we want to say thank you guys for always joining us, for always being a part of the In Your House Sunday house party. And you know, we're moving. We got a lot of things in the future planning up, ramping up. So get on or get gone, because we are moving mighty strong, as it's always said. And you know, personal note, new producer for Sabu Speaks. So really stoked about that. Check him out on Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. on the Twitch, the Sabu ECW. You can check that out. It's fun times.
Yeah, most definitely, man. It's like I told you in our last ECW watch long. We're all what you're doing, bro. You're doing more things to help enhance In Your House as well. So you didn't just get an opportunity to work with Sabu and you're like, screw these guys. No, you're still over here helping and helping enhance and make things better, man. So we appreciate it, bro. You're moving in that direction. And yeah, we'll talk more about that. A lot of exciting things happening for my man, which means a lot of exciting things for the ECW watch along moving in. A lot of time to talk about that. Check out the last episode. It was a fun one for certain. Saw some uncut raw footage, something that we're not supposed to be watching. At least that's what it felt like. It was this past Thursday. So check this out. But as far as somebody that's uncut, you know, of course, we got to bring in the producer of the show himself. It's always Smokey and High Philadelphia. That's my man, my brother. That is Hypocrisy Jones. He's here on the show. What is up, bro?
Yo, what is up out there, household? It is me, it is I, it is Hypocrisy Jones in the flesh. And bro, I'm ready to talk about people losing their jobs. That sucks.
It does suck, man. The way you said, what a dick.
My bad. I feel like in this this atmosphere that we have right now, you know, jobs are always uncertain, but I adhere to the Zack Ryder advice. Is just, you got to go out there, you got to make money, you got to hustle, you got to try to have fun, and you got to make the most out of whatever. But man, it's a weird time in WWE. They try to do that quiet too. They tried to like, shh.
Ain't no way you doing that quiet, bro.
This is how Groom got his new room.
Oh dang, okay,
Wait,
all right.
Okay, you caught me. WWE pays me. I don't even know what for. They just said, "Here's money."
Nor do we.
See,
you're kind of like the green. You're kind of like that green guy, bro.
Oh yeah,
he's
absolutely on. He's absolutely on the take.
Yeah,
good for him.
So okay,
he's at every show, bro.
Have you guys been going down the rabbit hole of the green shirt guy too?
No.
I've heard a
No.
little bit about it. I heard a little bit about it on Chris Van Vliet's podcast as far as rumors about why he's there at every show.
Okay, why I haven't heard the Chris Van Vliet part, but like I do think it's interesting. Dude is at every show. They are very expensive seats.
All the time.
I heard rumor. I saw a video once that he got punched by CM Punk during a show.
Elbowed. Yes, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
But then there's no confirmation on if that's the same guy.
It
So
doesn't
like
look
I
like
don't
the
know.
same guy though.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't think it is.
It doesn't.
They
there's a
don't look like
difference.
the same guy.
They favor, but like I can't be like, yeah, that's him. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
For sure. So what I've heard is that it was that was one thing that I heard. Another thing that I heard is that he's a plant in there that works for WWE that they put there to get like videos, like phone videos from the sideline or whatever, because those phone videos, are different than when you see, something that's expensively
Okay.
produced. You know what I'm saying? To make it seem like it's fan footage. And then another
Yeah.
thing I heard is that he's just independently wealthy and just goes to every show. So there's a couple of different theories. And like, I guess from what CVV was saying, like his people want to hear him interviewed on his show, like real badly. And
Yeah.
like to hear his story.
I'm one of them.
But like, I guess he told CVVs, I'm not ready to do that yet, but I will do that in time. So like, that's crazy that this dude is just, quote unquote super fan. Nobody knows why he's there, what's going on. And his podcast is as much anticipated as like a Randy Orton episode, or you know what I'm saying? Or like a John Cena episode or something. Like, people really want to hear this cat tell his story. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I just
I
want to
like
know
how-
if I should hate him or not.
Oh,
I
well.
I don't know. Sometimes
that's a
he's the
good
most
question.
over person in the building. So like I just want to know whether I should hate him or not.
I think I think that's the mystique in him not doing any podcasts or anything
Absolutely.
publicly, is that it's like, okay, people feel all kinds of way about him, but they don't really know how to feel about him because he don't say nothing. He's just there and keeps to himself other than that. So I think that's interesting for sure. That's definitely something we'll have to revisit at some point.
I don't
But,
know. Dude got an entrance during WrestleMania with
Oh,
Wade Barrett.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
he walked out with Wade Barrett like down the entrance ramp at Mania. Like
Yeah.
I want to know about this guy.
yeah, there's something strange for sure. But we do have to talk about these releases because there was a lot of like for a couple people and following it, because I was following it pretty much the entire day, like to keep up with it and see what's what, because I knew we were going to talk about it. And some of these names are just like crazy for a couple different reasons. I'm just going to go off of the list here. Then I'm gonna get with y'all, and I just want to hear some of y'all's more shocking like thoughts as far as like, dang, I can't believe this person got released, or this makes sense. We'll talk about it and get into it after I say the names. But the names that were released from the company: Braun Strowman, Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, Cora Jade. Then later we got Gigi Dolan, Riley Osborne, Eddie Thorpe, Jakara Jackson, the entirety of Gallus, including Joe Kofi, Mark Kofi, and Wolfgang, Oro Mensa, and Javier Bernal. So we're talking some members of what was formerly Chase U. They're talking about bringing Chase U back, but you're releasing Chase U members. Then half of the Metaphor gone, all of Gallus gone. It's Cora Jade, who a lot of people thought was like, she has strong upside. She's one of those. She's not quite on the level of like a Roxanne Perez, which I feel like she could have been, but like, there was a lot of potential upside to her. You know what I'm saying? Braun Strowman, I got some thoughts about that for sure. Dakota Kai for me was definitely someone I was like, damn, you were just pushing her toward the Intercontinental Championship. Then boom, 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 she's released. Like I said, just a few, but I want to get some thoughts from y'all here. Voice, you see these releases, you see what's moving. Give me some of your thoughts as you're following what's going on and seeing all these releases happening.
I mean, honestly, my opinion is a lot of them don't matter. Like, who in that list, who are you clamoring for? Who are you putting in the conversation when you're discussing anything about wrestling? I mean, unless it's specifically geared towards that specific person on that list, I don't hear anybody really talking about them. Cora Jade, I guess you could actually make an argument there. I have heard her name in other discussions. Dakota, same thing. But again, though, like Braun Strowman, the motherfucker's old. He even said, hey, my body kind of gets older quicker because of my size. And that's like science. So like,
that man most definitely needs a double knee surgery without a doubt.
Exactly. And I mean, what he's done for WWE when we needed him, great. But really, who's asking for a Braun Strowman match? I'm
Fair.
not.
I mean,
yeah.
We've
seen
I'll say this. I want to add this. When we needed Braun Strowman to come and do the work, he can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not arguing with you, bro. I'm not saying that because I don't think that like there's a spot for Braun right now with him being so his leg being so withered because of his size. He doesn't have the same mobility that we saw that clear in his last couple of feuds. And here's the thing: we don't know what Braun Strowman is gonna do next. Last time we saw him, he was on his back to Jacob Fatu, and that's how a lot of people leave the business, on their back. He put over a couple different talents and helped elevate them before this time. Maybe this was coming. Maybe this was something that was always coming, and he doesn't want to wrestle anymore. We don't know what his next step is going to be, but I do think that his time has come.
Yeah, his in-ring time to me is over. Like, unless there's some new surgery that I have no clue about, and he feels fantastic after it. Because I mean, Sabu said after his match, his last one with Joey, he's never felt better after a match. He's actually feels really good about it, and he's talking about going and doing some more. Well, where we're at right now is more of a let's cut the fat, because what's coming up and where we're going to be at. Is the women's division maybe too big? And at some of these points, it's hard to make your 5 minutes work, but who knows? All I know is that who's ever on that list and whatever you decide to do next, definitely put your heart into it. If you want to get back here, you got to make your look at Naomi. Let's, I mean, I bring her up all the time in this specific situations. Go out there and make a name for yourself.
Yeah. And that's somebody who most definitely did it. I think there's a reality where Cora Jade could really eat on the indies just off the potential alone. She's only 24 years old. She's a student of, CM Punk, a lot of stuff around her. I just think with her, man, maturity, bro. Maturity. You got to be in. Do you really think that Roxanne Perez is in the spot that she's in right now because she was, worrying about other things besides training, getting better at promos, and you gotta look at your priorities. And if you can't look at the performance center, you can't look at the ring or whatever as a breeding ground. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what that is. It's not the club. You know what I'm saying? It's not none of that, bro. It's like, if you ever been to a gym, like I've been to the gym, you ain't out there trying to pick nobody up. You out there to try to work, get better, improve yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly how it needs to be looked at. When you in that PC, every second that you're in that PC needs to be spent improving yourself, whether it be physically, mentally, getting better at promos, getting better in the ring, getting better cardio, making your body look better to be more pleasing for the camera. If you're doing anything else besides that, and I'm not saying people don't go in there and joke around and have a good time, but bro, that is not the spot. That is not the spot. And I'm not saying nobody's ever made it in the business. That's stupid to ever to insinuate that or think that. I'm not saying, but there's a way you maneuver. You know what I'm saying? And the PC's not the spot, bro. And plus, you got to keep yourself in check. Keep yourself in check. And I think that's one of the issues. Young girl doing young girl things. I think the potential is still there. But yeah, just let her hit those indies and we'll really see what she's made of. Grun, these releases, I wasn't expecting all this to happen, especially this many releases. What are your thoughts on everything? Was there any that really took you for a loop?
Honestly, the Party Girls, that really shocked me. And we
That's
talked about
done me, bro.
Dakota.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and Dakota Kai also. Those three specifically shocked me because, like you said, they looked like they were pushing Dakota Kai. She was getting momentum. Did she cool off? Sure, but we don't know how. We don't know. Maybe things would have changed. I don't know. I don't know. I think there's something they could have done with her. The Party Girls, that now the big thing that really shocks me is that they signed Katana Chance, Casey Catanzaro probably right after her American Ninja Warrior performance, where she was the smallest woman on the competition to go the farthest, make it all the way to the finals. She did not win, but she made it all the way to the final. And
Can I make a quick statement?
Go
Grun,
ahead.
you are the one in this group who comes up with the most insane fucking facts. Howse, back me up on this. This
It's
dude,
true. It's true. I love it.
Okay.
an American Ninja Warrior on here.
I love it.
I do too, but it blows my mind every time we get a Grun fact.
Yeah. And I thought that was absolutely crazy that they signed her, and then she wasn't on TV for like most of the time that she's been signed with WWE.
Right.
I'm like, wait, but you she's athletic. So you're telling me that she has needed all this time to develop personality? Like, that's kind of crazy because she had a pretty decent fan following after Ninja Warrior. So I'm so it's like she clearly showed some personality there, but the Party Girls, like, when you gave them their time, I thought they hit it out of the park every time. They did their job. They did what they were supposed to do, and they looked good doing it.
Yeah. Here's the thing with me, as far as they go, that one stings me because I don't know if you guys remember. Maybe it was sometime last year. We were doing a recap of the past year, and I'm saying who's your tag team of the year? Who do you think is going to have the most upside and potential? I chose Life of the Party.
Yeah.
I thought that they were going to be. I thought that they were going to really push it. I'm like, listen, they're really trying to develop this women's tag team division, which they did. You guys can hear me and Annie talk about every Wednesday the women's tag team division. But I was just like, this is the only women's division tag team that came as a team, worked together as a team. They were a legit tag team where other teams were kind of getting thrown together. And I'm not saying there didn't become great women's tag teams getting thrown together, but the Party Girls, Life of the Party, they were always a tag team, and they always worked cohesively as a tag team. They dressed and matched gimmicks and did everything as a team. So I was like, man, that's somebody you could really, even if you didn't want a whole bunch of star power in your women's tag team division, at least give them a chance to be like a dominant women's tag team champions, to where they're maybe consistently defending it once a month on Monday Night Raw. Maybe give them opportunities on some PLEs, some not so big PLEs, to have a defense on there, and let them get like solid defenses of beating teams that they're putting together. But it's just like, I don't know what happened. They tried to make them work with some segments, like some backstage segments. They were a little hokey. I remember it. And like, I do know that they don't got the most charisma. Like, Kaden Carter, she shows more charisma on like her IG and TikToks than she does on screen, which I think that's a problem. But but translate that personality. But like, it's just disappointing because they were a solid tag team that really could have made a big splash, and it just kind of fell off. Hype. We got our man OG Tony saying, what person being released surprised you the most? He's also saying a lot of them will fit in TNA. He thinks that, but I want to get some of your thoughts, Hype. These releases, where are you?
Well, first I want to give some shout out to Adam G. He's over in one of our other chats that's not appearing on through StreamYard, but he's saying that Braun will be back and then he'll get fired again and then he'll be back and it's just going to be rinse, wash, and repeat. But honestly, man, the most stunning name out of this list, which I think this whole list is people that were like that have a little bit, but they're not exactly hitting that spark. They're not exactly hitting. They're not exactly doing numbers, and unfortunately WWE is just trimming that fat of those people. So I don't think a lot of these people are surprising on this list. Besides maybe, and this may shock you guys, but I think of Jakara Jackson. I think the promise that they had with her and Lash Legend, I thought they were going to push.
I thought they were going to come up
two
as the next legit women's tag team.
Yeah, but looking like we're going to see a Lash Legend solo run, which is dope too. But
she's going to do good in singles.
Yeah, absolutely. But most of this list does not uber surprise me. I think they're people that have gone up and gone down, and I think they've probably done more like essentially regressing or just staying stagnant than not. So like, I mean, like I hate that we're talking about people that lost their jobs, but also like these are wrestlers. They'll find jobs, they'll find like opportunities, they'll find like
indies are gonna eat them up.
Yeah, absolutely. They have massive opportunities to go out there and make money for themselves. Just hopefully they do it. But not a whole lot of this list is uber surprising to me. It was nice that they gave Metaphor a send off.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that was
before absolutely gutting it. But yeah,
man. Yeah, no, it's true, man. But I think a lot of these talents will land on their feet. You know what I'm saying? I'll say this: I don't think Braun Strowman's going to do the indies. I don't think that's happening. I just don't. I think Braun Strowman is going to take time off and put Lash with Naomi. Naomi is somebody we're definitely going to talk about. But I like that because Naomi might be looking for somebody to, she said in the next couple of years, she's like, I'm going to be done doing this. I want to start a family. I want to have my own, kids of my own, and start doing that. And that's exactly why I think we're going to lead to a Naomi Women's Championship run in the next year or so, just because, if she's leaving, then that's where they're going to give her one last send off. But like I said, we're most definitely going to get to that.
I got Adam G over on Facebook saying, "I came to see Casey Catanzaro." Said no one ever.
Yo, that's me. I'm saying right now, that's me. Nah, like Casey Catanzaro is a solid wrestler, and she's
yeah,
very true. But no one's saying I'm here to see him.
I was going to say, I don't think she's selling tickets on a WWE level, but
no, she's cool. She's cool, but
put those two on the TNA. They'll do good on TNA.
Good there.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I'd like to see Cora Jade and GCW. Like, I think GCW would be a good spot for a more edgier Cora Jade. I think that they need good.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Each and every one of them need to avoid AEW like the plague.
Oh God.
I said it. You don't like it? Kiss my ass.
Yo, okay. with that, we got Caleb Sample. He said, hopefully they take this opportunity to grow in the right direction and not be bitter, thinking they got it figured out. So with that, I don't know. And then we got Mad Spawn saying, what if Braun came back with the Wyatt Six? Which
no.
I don't love that. I don't love that.
I get where you go. I get where you're coming from, bro. But nah, I don't. I don't even think like if Braun can't bring anything juicy, like they're over here trying to figure out what to do with Alexa Bliss. The stable's a mess. You just if you add more to it, just I don't know.
Yeah, I don't love
think I
that.
figured out. I think I figured out what they're doing. I think we're gonna see a feud, some sort of alliance with the Wyatt Six, Aleister Black, and this is where they introduce Shiloh. They're gonna bring in Bailey Hump. Okay, I think Shiloh Hill might do well on the main roster.
What are you making the oddities of this year?
He may figure it out.
They're gonna come out with ICP too.
I mean, look, you joke, but you know damn well that some of those LFG guys and gals, they are almost ready for the main roster.
Here's the thing: the names that you said, you put them with Karrion Kross. You don't put them with a dying, unproven thing like the Wyatt Six. I'm sorry, I was huge on it. But as of today, I would much rather watch you take a shit, Grun, than watch what they're trying to do with that. It is bullshit. They have killed Bray Wyatt's name.
Yeah.
And
Can I be real? I'm 100% surprised I didn't see any of the members of the Wyatt Six on the release list.
Why wasn't that great?
That was probably the most shocking thing to me. You don't use them. Like, I don't know why you created this thing. Like, I get maybe you wanted to do something good for Bray, but sometimes the best thing to do is shut the fuck up. Like,
yeah.
Man, just let it go, bro. I hate it. Trust me, bro. I hate it. But we're at a point where like the Wyatts, it's just a parody, bro. It is just a parody. If they were wrestling in my backyard, I wouldn't open up the shades. I'm sorry. I just don't care, bro. Like, I don't care. And I hate that's the point that we're at.
They had momentum and they let them cool off way too long.
They let it die.
Yeah.
It's dead. It's dead. Even if they came back now, it's watered down. I think okay, I may have gone a little overboard, but I think what we will see is Alexa Bliss will slowly turn them into something else. There'll be something different, a different group, and hopefully that will. I know
you don't like Alexa Bliss, so you shut. Okay, Alexa Bliss is my girl. All right,
she can be a girl all she wants, but here's the thing. No, I'm sorry, but I didn't hear too many people being like, "Can't wait for Alexa Bliss to come back."
Because people understand.
Oh, because the women's division got way better without her and passed her by. Oh, okay, yeah, I understand that.
I'm not saying that it didn't vastly improve without her, but it did. It absolutely vastly improved without her. It vastly improved without Charlotte Flair. I'm just saying. I think Alexa Bliss can. Right, you know what? I don't know, because she's shown that she can do a lot of. She's shown she can do whatever she is told to do.
Yeah, I'll say this. Listen, I'm going to say this about Alexa Bliss. We were there, me, Hype, we were there at the Royal Rumble. Massive pop, huge, massive pop, and then no TV time after the fact.
Yeah.
What the hell? That much I don't understand why you really. I think she had one match, like it was a qualifying match to try to fight for something. You know, I can't remember. But that's the thing. I can't remember. Like
she got Legends. She got Legends treatment. You just there for the pop and like for the the remembering of the good times, like. And then we got other stuff to do,
bro. I don't know, because I don't know what they're gonna do with her. I don't know how they reintroduce her to TV after they brought her back on. Once again, massive pop. People still care, but it's like the mishandling has been insane. The Wyatt Six, insane. You could definitely say there's been some injuries right there, whatnot. But like once again, like. What you did was you started to, we started seeing Alexa show up backstage after Rumble and stuff like that, and they started like doing little video things like they were doing that the Wyatts were coming back. Then just nothing, completely dropped. And I'll say this: we're most definitely going to get into SmackDown, but I've been noticing, and as somebody who's always tried to call it down the middle, I've been noticing that WWE there's been some slip ups. There's been some things have been we're bringing stuff up and then we're just letting it die. That didn't happen. We're tucking that under the rug. That was a huge thing that happened, that where people with Vince were like, hey, man, you're insulting our intelligence. And like, I feel like that's a little bit where we're going with, like, especially people were still lingering after the major ball drop of WrestleMania's main event. Like when you have Chris Van Vliet trying to fucking double down and try to convince people that match, he's even saying like the match wasn't great, but for what it was, like, bro, I get what you're doing. You're still trying to make it sound good, but we all know that main event was a disappointment. We all know why. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not sit up here and play like it was this, it was that, or this was seen as attempted ruining wrestling. Like, okay, that's cool. Rock didn't appear. You dropped the ball on that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. A lot of pushes that you dropped the ball on. Andrade brought him back. What's he doing? Shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, that's just one thing I notice is that where we all love Triple H and everything that he's doing, I think we're starting to see some holes in his booking right now.
Well, yeah, it was going to happen.
It's bound to happen. It's bound to happen, bro. Like, this isn't the WWE hate train, but if you guys out there in the household or anybody who knows or have listened to me for as many years as I've been doing this, I'm not just going to sit up and say, "Hey, WWE is awesome," blah blah blah, yada yada yada. When they're doing awesome stuff, I'm going to say, "Yay, WWE is awesome." But when I see some weird stuff going on, I'm like, I don't know about that. And lately, WWE's been making some odd moves, where it's like, what are we doing? I'm not even talking about the releases, because releases happen, and every time this happens, everybody reacts about it the same way. They get all up in arms and pretend like they care about talent that if they were still on the card and in catering, you wouldn't give two shits about. But because they're released, they're like, oh, they're such a good wrestler. They're so awesome. So, bro, you don't care. You didn't care. You know why they're getting released? Because you didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't sit up here and try to cape for him now. Don't try to sit up here and cape for him now. I'm just saying there's some things going on in WWE where I think some of the booking is inconsistent.
You're right.
Definitely.
And it's crazy to see all these people out there right now, today, on the social media being like, Braun Strowman, you weren't even like that a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's the truth, bro.
Get over yourself. And then they want to make, we're informational over here. We got the Braun Strowman story. Do you? Because you didn't look at his fucking drop where he said it seems like he's kind of relieved he doesn't have to fucking put his body through this stuff anymore. And that's exactly what I'm talking about with Tony talking here. Why no indies for Braun? Because
injuries.
The body couldn't handle the indies. Maybe
no way.
He can't handle it at all.
Like if we're talking like appearances, autograph signings, okay, we got it. Don't put him in the ring again. Don't do it.
No.
He's gonna go do shitty movies and straight to TV series and stuff like that. Like it, I don't know, man. In no way, shape, or form should any one of us on the internet be dictating like what other people do with their lives, or be sad if they have an opportunity to do something else.
Why couldn't he be an ambassador for WWE?
I think he could maybe unofficially. I can see Braun like maybe doing some YouTube stuff, because I'm sure there are people that have wanted to find out how he got jacked, how he got this physically big, and I think he could be an entertaining health influencer. Because like we've seen that he loves being goofy. Adam Scherr loves being goofy, loves being silly, and is a very likable person. So I mean, you could definitely see him still be some internet TV personality.
He's gonna be some reality TV host somewhere.
He's got. I mean, no matter which way you slice it, he's got a future. I mean, period.
Yeah.
He's got a future in something that is not gonna be involved in putting his body on the line. Like I'm not sitting over here saying, "Oh my God, Braun Strowman's released. Now I appreciate him." But I will say that in this last year, he has done exactly what he was set out there to do. Hey, we need a big guy to make Bronson Reed look dominating. What did he do? He went out there and he got splashed through on top of a car. You know what I'm saying? He took so many tsunamis. He made Bronson Reed look like monster. What's next? Oh, well, we need you to help pump up the United States Championship scene. It's kind of jacked up. It's dying. Let's put you in a couple of matches with LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura. Okay, I got it. Let's do it. Am I winning the title? No, I'm not. Okay, cool. Let's do it. All right. Fast forward. Hey, we got Jacob Fatu. We're trying to push him as the big monster. He's the next big thing. We need another monster to put him over and make him look big. What did Braun Strowman do? He made Jacob Fatu, helped him get to that next level and helped him elevate. And then boom, he sat up there and got, from what I understand, just got fucking bodied during a roast, during the roast in WrestleMania weekend, like straight up just like they put the hurting on that boy as far as insulting him and whatnot. He took it all in stride, took everything in stride, got released, hasn't said nothing bad, hasn't jumped on social media that I know of and said anything crazy. Listen, I'm not going to sit up here and say, oh, I'm sure he's this, he's that. What I am going to say is that the last year and what I'm seeing right now is that Braun Strowman is an absolute professional.
Yeah. And he has sat in a few of Kill Tony's actual shows up in the celebrity balconies. So he's been at the Kill Tony shows. He knows what it's about. He's a fan. That's why they dug in on him so deep, because he wanted it. Because the guy gets it. He understands. He's a human who gets it. And this is the best thing to happen for him, honestly. Because what would you want them to use him for next? He's already done what he's needed to, and he's gotten the guys over that he needed to. So now it's time to take that whatever check they give him on the way out and go and rest.
Yep.
Enjoy life, man. The other ones get to work, though. If you want to get back to where you're at, get to work.
Boom. All right. There we go. Right there. We're talking about a completely different scenario to Braun Strowman. When I'm talking about the Dakota Kais, talking about the Jade Carters, the Katana Chances, Cora Jade, I'm looking at you. I am looking at you. Gigi Dolan, you know what I'm saying? Eddie Thorpe, Jakara Jackson, all these names, Oro Mensah. Y'all got some work to do. If you guys want to get back to that point and even bigger and better than ever, y'all got some work to do. All right, Cora Jade, you've got some work to do. You got some growing to do. I hope you get it. I hope you get back there. I hope you grow. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's going to have to be some growing to do if they want to get back to that promised land. Braun Strowman, completely different trajectory than all those talents. They still trying to get in the game. They want to stay in the game. They're staying on that carousel. I think Braun Strowman is getting off that carousel and hopefully finding a graceful next chapter in his life.
Very true.
Period. And I think we kind of leave it at that. That was a good closing for that, for sure, because we got to get back to talking about active competitors, and those active competitors are on SmackDown. Man, a lot of things going on. I want to start with talking about the U.S. Championship title scene. I want to start there because we've been talking about it, and I keep going back to this. I keep going back to Shinsuke Nakamura's title reign and how it completely derailed any momentum that the United States Championship had. You know what I'm saying? They tried to take it off of LA Knight because LA Knight was at a point in his first title run where it's like, he's just holding the title to hold the title. You know what I'm saying? Let's put it on Shinsuke and see what happens with it. And that's exactly what they did. And it was nothing. There was no gas behind it. It was just dead. And then, you know, they put it back on LA. LA had a better second title run than his first run. I think we've all agreed to that in the last couple of weeks. His second title run was most definitely better. And then they made the decision at WrestleMania to put it on Jacob Fatu. Now, did that help elevate the United States Championship scene? Yeah, most certainly. But you want to know what else has helped elevate the United States Championship scene? The want for it. The want that a former world heavyweight champion like Drew McIntyre wants to go toe-to-toe with the strongest champion on the show. He said John Cena's gone soft. Jacob Fatu is the one. He's the champion. He's the guy. LA Knight wanting his title back more than anything else, making it feel important. Now you got a former world heavyweight champion in Damian Priest that's in the mix fighting for that. And then Solo, who's scheming on Jacob Fatu. I think we all agree he's scheming and trying to take that U.S. title off.
Oh, yeah.
I got to tell you, fellas, the United States Championship scene is getting more and more compelling, and I'm eating it all the way up for sure. Voice, where are you at? We got a Fatal 4-Way that's going to be coming up, Backlash. What are your thoughts on the current state of the United States Championship and champion Jacob Fatu?
Well, in the current state of the United States title, I would like to go back to when, I don't know, Diamond Dallas Page had it, and it was a big thing when those mid-carders who elevated that title, Eddie Guerrero holding that title back in WCW was a moment. The thing that sets some titles apart from others is that exactly what you were talking about, Howse, is that drive to that title. And right now, with you having all these guys who had the title and won it back with LA Knight, with anybody who's been around it in the last year, there's a thirst for the United States title. And honestly, there's a well that's deep with this specific title that you can draw from. Insert other people into this match, and it's still an amazing match because of, to me, Jacob Fatu. He is the mountain to climb right now, and he's one of those mountains who bats off people. You know, they get almost to the top, and he's like, bye, now you're at base. So I'm excited for it. Like I said, it's giving me old WCW vibes when my favorite guys were running. Hell, I have the fucking United States title sitting over here, autographed by all my favorite ones who ever held it. And it's one of my favorite titles. It's one of my favorite titles.
I remember those WCW United States Championship title matches. I remember Booker T being a holder of it. Good times when Booker T was holding it. You know, you talked about guys like Eddie Guerrero, and even if you want to take it to the, the WWE days, I mean, you had great champions. Miz was a great United States champion. MVP, another great United States champion. So many names that you could bring in there. John Cena's Open Challenge, that was great. Like there was the United. When you present the United States Championship in the right way, it can be one of the most prestigious championships on the whole show. And I just really think that the current presentation of it right now, with Jacob Fatu being the champion, like you said, swatting away former world heavyweight champions, I think that's makes it a pretty prestigious damn title. So I think that's great. But where you at, man? United States Championship scene's heating up. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I love it. This is one of the first titles when I started watching WWE that I really cared about, and it is because of a certain Canadian marsupial vicious killer, we'll say, in the ring. Okay,
I know where you're going.
Yeah,
I know where you're going. If you say his name, I gotta be here, bro.
Yeah, I really. I'm trying to say as few positive things about him as possible, but no, he made me care about the title. JBL was the champion before him. He made me care about the title. Shelton Benjamin made me care about the title. Well, they're Matt, and like you talk about MVP. MVP had a stint where he was tag team partners with Matt Hardy and still in a feud with Matt Hardy.
I remember
while MVP was still like, there are a lot of awesome moments with the United States Championship, and I can't wait to see Jacob Fatu create more awesome moments with this title.
For sure. No, I agree with that, bro.
To be clear, you were talking about Chris Benoit, right?
There it is.
Yep, there it is. Yep.
Papa Chris. Yeah. Love that dude.
Chris Benoit. Yes, man.
I would let him watch my kids.
Damn. Damn.
Do you think your kids could beat him up, though?
No, but
okay.
That's beside the point.
Oh.
Damn.
Oh.
Bye, internet. We're gone now.
They're going to take us off the network here.
I don't know, man. I think you can say Chris Benoit and like the whole world won't go away. And I don't know. I agree with you. He had a great United States title run back in his day.
He did.
Fantastic.
and during a time that actually made that during a time that actually made it made stars for who and all held it.
Yeah, for sure.
I got Paragon over in the chat. He's saying that MVP has the greatest US title reign ever. He also said Boyce doesn't love his kids, and he says that and they said Paragon was bad for suplexing kids. So I don't know. Paragon's my best friend. I love him. So like he can do no wrong. But there we are, yo.
Where are you at? Let's keep it with you, bro, because we're talking about the United States Championship, the state of it, where we're at with it. Like I said, I'm loving it. Where are you at with the U.S. title?
Right now it seems very, very competitive. We're about to have a 4-way with Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, and Damian Priest, and that seems big. It especially seems big in a time where we're not going to see a lot of the Universal title. Especially like with this week, we didn't see John Cena. We just had a promo from Randy Orton, basically recapping what happened. You know, we need this U.S. title right now to be big, to hold the show, to hold the interest, and I think it's doing its job right now.
Yeah, I agree with that point. That's a really great point. Strong point there, Hype, is that with the appearances, the limited appearances of John Cena and him being, like you said, the undisputed champion, the U.S. title, it's a great opportunity for the U.S. title to step up and be the television title that everybody is going to want to see. You know what I'm saying? We can see some main events on SmackDown where we see U.S. titles, you know, main eventing SmackDown. We've seen it with the Intercontinental Championship. The Intercontinental Championship has been booked a couple of different Monday Night Raws where they main evented it. Why not do the same thing with the U.S. title? For sure, I think you could do that. And keeps that prestige up, keeps the division interesting with rotating names. It doesn't always have to be Damian Priest in there and Drew McIntyre. Maybe you have different plans for them, but the fact that they're here now, and if Jacob Fatu retains, it's going to give him bragging rights to say, hey, I beat Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, and LA Knight in a fatal 4-way. I'm that guy. I'm the champion. I'm that dude. I think it's a great opportunity. They're doing good work with that right now, currently, I believe. And we're going to see where it goes because we have that fatal 4-way that's coming up. We're going to talk more about that. But we got to talk about Fraxium. I want to get to Fraxium, a little tag team wrestling, as we're all, you know, most of us here, or not all of us, are fans of tag team wrestling. Fraxium is entering the waters of an already deep SmackDown tag team division, and that saw them getting a second victory, this time over Pretty Deadly. Last week it was Los Garzas, which is like the lower, like, I see what they're doing. They're working them through the lower tag team card to kind of work them up. Maybe they'll start a feud with one of them or something like that, but they're working them up to put them in the mix with the DIYs, to put them in the mix with the Motor City Machine Guns. I mean, just right there, a tag match between Fraxium and any of those two teams is going to hit. But then you'll have the possibility of, you know, maybe they'll work their way up the division to a tag team championship opportunity, you know, against the Street Profits. The division is heating up right now. Fraxium is now in the mix. Voice, what are your thoughts?
Well, I like what they're doing. They are proving themselves. When you said a feud between one of the lower ranked tag teams, I would love to see them with a small, maybe 3 matches with Pretty Deadly. I enjoyed what they did with them. They're not putting on bad matches. That's what I enjoy. There's not really too many, if any, miscues, things like that. So I'm highly impressed what they're doing. Like you said, this SmackDown division for the tag is so deep and it's so talented. And right now, the mountain to climb is the Street Profits, and they are heating up right now. I don't even think you can touch their mountain right now. Lava is just pouring down it, and we are seeing them on peak levels, and the fans are appreciating it. honestly, if I'm WWE, and please do not do a misstep with this one, let them hold these titles for a little bit. Let them
Yeah.
cook with it. Let all these teams build up until a boiling point, just like what we had with the TLC match. I mean, come on, guys. You guys are so good. And WWE, you have something. And it's just not one tag team, it's a lot of tag teams that are getting this treatment off of one tag team. So let's let it cook. Let them have these titles, and be the tag champs that we know they are.
Yeah, no, a lot of good points for sure. I mean, I think they got to hold them for a while. They need to be the pinnacle of the tag team division in a very competitive tag division right now on SmackDown. I think that's the right place for them to be. And then like I said, you're slow building Fraxium, kind of let them tiptoe in there, get a few matches with Los Garzas, maybe a feud with Pretty Deadly, then move up to, DIY where they're most clearly going to be, the baby faces in that, and DIY helps get them over as baby faces, move them up to Motor City Machine Guns. Maybe he's like, all right, it's going to be Fraxium, Motor City Machine Guns, #1 contender for the tag titles. And you let that build a little bit. Let it marinate. You got to rush nothing with Fraxium. All you got to do is just give them 2 months, 3 months, and then boom, they've built up enough wins. Have come on the other side on some feuds, on the right side of some feuds, pick up some key victories. All of a sudden, Fraxium is a very, very competent competitor to go up against Street Profits for their title. So most definitely there's a way that you can build this. Tag team division has been cooking, and we saw that culminate in a triple threat tag team championship TC match. That was great, epic, one of my matches of the year. But now we got to keep rolling with the tag team division. Fraxium is now a big part of it. Grun, where are you at the current state of Fraxium?
I think Fraxium, they are making their name in the tag team division on SmackDown. I cannot wait for them to fight the Street Profits. At the same time, I am very much thinking like, I want to see if the Street Profits can. I feel like they've earned a year-long title reign. That is how I feel. I think there's a way to do that with this tag team division, because let's Fraxium babyface, DIY heel, Pretty Deadly tweeners, I think
Heel-ish?
tweener-ish, yeah, heel-ish. Street Profits are currently babyface, and then Motor City Machine Guns babyface. I think the Street Profits need to turn heel. And it's not like, because it's not like, they do better. Like, they probably would be better as heel, but it's more because it's easier to keep heels champion longer.
Mm-hmm.
That is,
yeah, it is. So they can have a lot of outs.
Yeah, and then Street Profits, you have them. They've made it clear they are the dominant team, and Fraxium, they had quite significantly long title runs between their two runs in NXT, and have been one of the most hottest tag teams in recent NXT history. So, just do everything you can to make this eventual meeting so hot that it blows up, and then Fraxium wins, and you got one of the hottest tag teams that have one of the most unique dynamics that we've seen in a while.
I see you, Grun. I see you out there, bro. I see it. I like it. Me personally, I think I'd put a little bit more spice in there, and I would have Fraxium and Street Profits, and I would have Fraxium lose on the first try. Then get it on the second try. Come up short, maybe learn things about themselves as a team, and then give it another month or two, maybe a little longer than that. Give it another crack at a bigger show, maybe at a Survivor Series or something, and boom, that's when you go ahead and pop it. That's when you go ahead and pop it and give them those tag titles. I think that, listen, we all know, a lot of us are. I know for sure, 100% me and Voice tag team wrestling, we love that shit. I love me some tag team wrestling. I've always been a fan of tag team wrestling. So the way it's moving right now, that's why with I know for sure I can talk about some tag team wrestling with Sean, me, and Annie. We always be talking about the women's tag team division. We cover that on Wednesdays. Tag team wrestling, I'm always down to talk about it, and especially this current Smackdown tag team division. Now you got so many great teams in there. You're adding Fractum in the mix. Where you at with it, bro?
Yeah, I've been loving this tag team division. We've been advocating for this for a while. I don't want to talk about the WrestleMania match we didn't get because we got an absolutely amazing TLC match instead. But like I kind of agree with Grun here, where I can see Street Profits turning heel. Maybe down the line. I don't see them as a face team right now anyways, because if you remember their actions at the Royal Rumble, that wasn't really a face action or face move to interfere in a match.
Well, bro, is face or heel even linear right now anymore? Because it feels like it's not.
I don't think so.
No.
I mean I think you do things for what's right for you, but
right. There you go.
And I think that's what we see out of the Street Profits is that they're doing what's right for them. So it's literally going to be like a by any means necessary sort of feel from them, and I like that. They're interesting because they're one of those teams where we're always talking about what are they going to break up? Are they going to split?
Holy shit, have the Street Profits become polarizing?
Right. So like I think the more that they do with them, the more questions that we're gonna have, but also they're proving everything right. Like they are those guys. Montez has been that guy. Dawkins has really like amped himself up in so many different ways.
Just jump in there real quick, and I'm gonna let you finish talking about Dawkins real quick. Talk about a guy who heard the whispers that this is the Gigetti, this is that, he's dead. Oh, Montez Ford, this and that. Did this man cry about it, bitch about it? No, he got better, got bigger, became a better wrestler. Shout out to Dawkins. That, like I said, modern day D'Lo Brown, he's a killer, bro. There ain't no Gigetti in that team.
Dawkins went out there and like he changed everything, whether it was from his style as a whole, from dress up to dress down, like he's done that in the ring and out, and he's really, I want to see where that guy goes because man, like I feel like like what we've seen out of the Usos when they split and Jay like boom. I think we could really see that out of a Dawkins at some time, given the right story, given the right circumstance, and some things like that. I think he's a guy that can, like, if you give him an opportunity, you throw a fastball right down the middle, he's gonna knock it out of the park. You know what I mean?
I feel it. I feel you, bro. You preaching because I see it with Dawkins. Like I said, I got a lot of respect for that man just because he was like, he heard the noise and he just went and worked harder. And I will always respect somebody that does that.
Absolutely. Hey, I want to give some shout outs to
let's get in the chat. Let's go to the chat.
Paragon said that we still need to shave Grun's head for a tattoo. He also said that Con, you got a booger in your left nostril. And Adam G said, I don't know why Triple H and HBK changed their name to DIY. DX was just fine.
Dang. I like this. Let's get to our man. I hope we don't, if I butcher your name, I'm sorry, man. Tagar, you've been really active in the chat, man. You're saying Angelo Dawkins is someone who keeps silencing doubters. Absolutely agree, man. Thank you for joining us, new chatter. Tagar, we appreciate you, bro. Let us know from where you tapping into In Your House at from. But yeah, most definitely Angelo Dawkins is that dude. And I'm with the vibe, bro. Most definitely tag teams are cooking, but this is kind of thematic here as we're talking about divisions and we're talking about titles and title divisions, let's switch gears. We talked about the hotness of the U.S. title. We talked about the hotness of the tag team championships. Let's go ahead and jump over real quick to a division, in my personal opinion, kind of the momentum just skirt, like we're talking skirt. Like, let's go to the women's United States Championship scene. Okay, so Chelsea Green, first ever women's United States champion. Cool. Great. Holding it down, really owning that championship, getting a Secret Service, a Secret Service around her, making the United States Championship her gimmick, which we've seen that with the United States Championship before. When somebody gets that U.S. title, they start to get a little bit more patriotic. They start to wear a little red, white, and blue, and they own that. We've seen it happen for years and years with many different champions. No stranger to that. Chelsea owned it, and great. Last week comes, and just what felt like, just a random occurrence to me. We saw the title change hands from red hot Chelsea Green to Zelina Vega. Now, do I think Zelina Vega is a talent? Yeah, I do, for sure. I think she's a solid talent. So I was ready to give it a chance. And I watched SmackDown this past Friday, and what I heard was nothing. If I dropped a pin on the ground, I'd be able to hear it. No pop for Zelina Vega. And I've been kind of critical of Zelina Vega in the past. I just think that with all the potential that she has, she ain't there yet. And I don't think the crowd really has connected with her. You want to talk about Backlash in Puerto Rico? Okay, that's great. Awesome. We had that moment. But, right now, she's not hitting. So I don't understand it. I think you really put the Women's United States Championship at a halt. You got to mix in the fact that you pretty much gutted your women's mid card during this, release period. 7 women released. I don't know what you do with these mid card titles right now, because you didn't have them on WrestleMania in any capacity. Do we jump that? Do we jump on that a little too fast? Do we pull the trigger on that without a plan with the United States and the Intercontinental Championships for the women? I don't know, but I just know that Zelina Vega, she picked up a victory in a once again. The matchup with her and Piper, pretty good matchup, and made sense, the win and everything like that. But I want to ask y'all, and I'm gonna start with Voice, your thoughts. Zelina Vega, United States champion. What's your temperature with her right now as a competitor?
I'm bored. She doesn't do it for me. She hasn't in a while. I don't understand the character. I don't get why they keep putting her in these corners and saying, this is you, this is how you have to be portrayed, this is how you have to just be. And I don't know. Is there a possibility for her to break out of this and become something? Yes. There's always that 5 minutes. I always speak about it. People, they get annoyed how much I speak about this, but
I don't.
Yeah, we got fans. Nick out there, Tier Darrow out there, he's always commenting on his show about it. But that 5 minutes is important, because you have to make yourself known. You have to separate yourself from whatever's going on. It's like why is Lash not let go? Because she takes her 5 minutes anytime she's in a match, and she runs with it. And that's just me taking an example who's barely getting the chance to do that. So when you have those 5 minutes like Zelina, why not do something extra? Why not separate yourself from the past to what you can be now? We're always going back. They're trying to milk the whole thing with her father. Okay, I get it. It's emotional. It connects to you, but you've already used that to connect with the fans at one point. That's why you were so over at Puerto Rico when they did that Backlash. That's why people, take the ethnicity out and all that stuff, but she connected with people on that. you can't keep going back to it. You even said that, House. Going back to that well, it's dry. It's dry now. We need something else, because sadly to say, in this environment that we live in, it's what are you doing for me now? And in this business of entertainment, what are you entertaining me with now? This is not it.
Yeah. Here's my thing with Zelina Vega. There's no connection there. I said the same thing with Liv Morgan years ago when she had, they put her in that spot a little bit too soon where she, cashed in and took the title off of Ronda Rousey. And I didn't think she was ready for it. You know what I'm saying? It's like there was no connection at that point. Am I saying that's never going to happen with Zelina Vega? I'm not saying that in the slightest bit, because look at Liv Morgan. My mind's completely changed on Liv Morgan in a major way. In a major way. That can happen for Zelina Vega. But I'm not talking about potential. I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about the fact that she came out, won her first singles championship, and came out on Friday Night Smackdown with her first defense. No pop at all. Crowd was dead. I mean, it was what it was. I'm sorry. And, if you're a Zelina Vega fan, I'm sorry, but she ain't connected yet. I think it's great that she was able to get back on her Twitch and start doing the Twitch thing again. Like, if you want to find a gimmick where, maybe you one of those, I don't know, gamer girls or whatever, ooh, woo, is that what they doing? That type, like, pull from that. Pull from that, bro. Like, do that, like, do that type stuff. But, like, as far as where she's at right now, no gimmick, no connection. It's dry, bro. It's dry. They need to try something else with Zelina. Grun, where you at, bro? What's your thoughts?
I'm kind of with you that I'm kind of bored. I agree. Like, there is no I think that's great that you are connecting with people of your ethnicity. The issue is, what did you say earlier? Pigeonhole. This is now a pigeonhole, because look, you want to be proud of your ethnicity and your heritage, go for it. Okay? But you have got to find a way to connect to everybody. If you cannot connect with every fan, I don't know how you're gonna I don't know how you're gonna stay relevant. I don't know how you're going to grow and be a draw. Zelina Vega, I barely remember her in TNA as Rosita. Barely. You would have to tell me that she was in TNA for me to know that. And I don't know what they do with her. I don't know if she has that it factor that very few people have. Braun Breaker, Trick Williams, Chelsea Green, Tiffany Stratton, Lash Legend, I'll say, I think she's got the it factor. I think Roxanne Perez has the it factor. I don't know if Zelina Vega has that it factor.
Okay, so while you were saying the fucking Grunt, I was thinking about a couple things because you made some points. Let's talk about some talents that didn't just respectfully write off their ethnicity. When I think of somebody like Eddie Guerrero, do I think about the fact that he was Latino? I mean, not entirely. No, I think about the fact that he lied, he cheated, he stealed, he had a great time, and he was himself within his ethnicity, and he was truly true to himself, being that guy who lies and cheats and steals. Dominic Mysterio, I don't think about him in that way. I think about a sleazy slimeball kid that that slithered his way into the United States or the Intercontinental Championship, and that's who he is. The New Day, during the time where it was the Black Lives Matter movement was heavy and people were talking. There was a lot of discussions being had. What were they? The fun-loving anime, gaming, type of trio tag team that made us like, oh, I love these guys. Oh, they're dressing up as Super Saiyans. Oh, up, up, down, down. The greatest tag team champions of all time. Booty-O cereal, twerking, throwing pancakes in the crowd, having a great time. That's who they were. You know how I would book Zelina Vega? You want me to care about her? Let her get back on Twitch. Start really having her be like that. Give her like video game themed gear, because that's who she is. That's what she does. She's a gamer. Pull from it. You know what I'm saying? That's perfect. That would be a perfect gimmick gimmick for the mid card if she was that cool gamer girl, you know what I'm saying, on some Overwatch type shit, you know what I'm saying, and send her out to like gaming tournaments and stuff like that on the side with the US title, to where she's at like esports tournaments and judging that type shit. That's how you put her in that lane, bro.
Dope.
I'm telling you, you put her in that lane. That's how you make Zelina Vega pop. Put her in her real life environment where she's the gamer streaming girl, and give her that. Give her that. And I think she'd pop hard as fuck. Hype, where are you at right now with Zelina Vega, bro? I want some of your thoughts.
So I'm really right here with you guys. And as I have SmackDown on right now from the past Friday, and just so happens the Zelina Vega match is on currently. And as you guys have been talking, all I've seen is just hands on seats, like, and no excitement, no a whole lot of anything. Now, given I'm listening to this with the audio, or I'm watching this with the audio off,
but you're watching the fans though.
Yeah, but I'm watching the fans, and there's no reaction, there's no facial reaction, there's no a whole lot of anything. You like, so I get what you're saying. Like, they haven't grasped her, and I'm 100% with you guys. Like, I'm sorry her dad died in 9/11. Her and Pete Davidson need to stop milking this, though. Like, I just like. I can't, bro. Like, it's you gotta find you gotta find a character. You gotta find a character, and a character is not a specific moment. Now a moment you can build a character off of a moment, but you can't stay in that for and call it your character. You know, I Logan Paul just beat AJ Styles at WrestleMania. He's going to say that for a little bit, but after he loses to Jay at Backlash, he's probably not going to say that too much longer.
Yeah.
But he's still going to be an asshole.
That's a good point. But listen, where we at, bro? I mean, are y'all telling me that Zelina Vega, who is a known video game Twitch streamer, before she was, affiliated and stuff like that, had a big Twitch stream before WWE changed their rules, and now they're letting her back on Twitch, bro? Like, let her cut promos on her Twitch stream and air them on the show. Like, let her really lean into, because that's who she is, right? And what is building a character in professional wrestling? It's taking something, an extension of yourself, and turning it up times 100, right? Yeah. Let her own that. Let her be the cool Twitch streaming chick that's the United States champion. Let her come out in fucking Tifa Lockhart inspired gear, Final Fantasy type gear. Let her come out in like Devil May Cry type gear. Let her come out in Overwatch type gear. Push her Twitch stream like you did up, down, down. Let her go to esports tournaments. Let her really, because that's lane right there. You find that lane, then what are we talking about? We're not talking about, oh, well, she's Puerto Rican. She's a Puerto Rican from New York. No, we're talking about that cool Twitch streaming video game chick that's the United States champion, that is, for the kids, for the young gamers. Yeah. You give that lane. She's right there, bro. She's in the pocket. It's so right there.
If they did that, that would change the dynamic of her, like, just tenfold, I think. But they haven't done that yet. So
no, they haven't.
And until they do, I don't know what we do there.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I agree with you, bro. But I think we spent a lot of time on that, quite a bit of time on that, just because I started thinking about that idea with Zelina, and I think that it's a good lane. But real quick, we had other things happen. Randy Orton, he cut a promo. That kind of was what it was. I think that we all see the writing on the wall. Not really anything to write home about with that. Ray Phoenix continues his momentum. He picks up a win in a good match with Santos Escobar. That's something we can definitely come back to it at some point, as that develops. But I saw Aleister Black, another thing where we saw him pick up a win against The Miz, another thing where he's building. It is what it is. Let's jump real quick to the women's championship title scene, because we got to talk about that, because it's developing, right? Like, we see it rolling over. We see people in the mix. Tiffany Stratton champion. Charlotte Flair off TV, kind of like what I've been saying for months now. We don't have to get into that now. We will, but we got to stay here because there's more to talk about with Naomi in the mix of the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Nia Jax is in the mix. Jade Cargill's in the mix. And here's the thing about it. Jade Cargill's in the mix, and I believe it. I'm here for it. Like, she has got to that point. The women's world title scene's back heating up again with new competitors and new faces, and a different Naomi than before. Jade Cargill different than what she was before. Nia Jax is back. Hype, where you at, man, with the current state? We saw Naomi hold up the title at the end of the night on SmackDown. A lot of talks around Naomi with her gimmick change, how much more time she's going to be wrestling. She's definitely become a topic of conversation. Where you at right now, Hype, with the current state of the women's championship?
That women's division is booming right now, right? Like because these four women, Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax, you got Naomi and Jade Cargill in the mix, and let us not forget, man, there's a Bianca lurking. She is lurking in the back, and you don't think she wants to touch this gold, whether she was friends with two of these girls or not, whether she hates Nia and can't stand Tiffany. Bro, she out there peeping what's going on, and man, the amount of intrigue that I have right now in this women's division is high because between Tiffany and Nia, what if Tiffany drops it to Nia? What if the Jade and Naomi stuff spill into Tiffany and Nia more? There's so many different ways that you can go into this, man, and I'm eating this up right now.
I'm loving it, bro. Like, proceed with caution, Naomi. Of course, we know there's rumors, or not rumors. She said it herself. So I don't want to say it's rumors. She said it herself. She's probably got another good year or two before she's really going to want to start, doing the family thing. She probably wants some kids of her own with Jimmy. And I think she's alluded to that a little bit. I think we're going to see a Naomi World Championship run sooner than later. Definitely before her time is up, but she's a hot topic of conversation. But also, so is Jade Cargill, who I think has kind of grown into her own. You put the microscope on her. I think at WrestleMania they got microscope on her, and she delivered, gave a solid performance from A to Z. And it wasn't, it was just not to say it was just another match. It was a good match, but the match had everything that it needed to have. She hit all the spots she needed to hit. Now we're at a spot where it's like, okay, Jade can stand on her own. Now we're putting her in some women's championship situations. Voice, where you at currently with the women's championship scene?
The women's championship scene is perfect right now. There's not a negative thing I can say about the women's division right now. They're cooking on every burner that you could possibly have in a kitchen, and it's amazing. It's so much so that Jade's development, that they are now using Naomi to literally step on Jade and just walk. I mean, she stepped on her holding that title. Man. It was epic. It's very proving to what being able to take criticism about yourself and see that criticism is actually true.
Mm.
And to build to where Jade is now is monumental. She's fantastic. I can't say enough great things about her. I was stoked when we heard we're getting her. I'm stoked to see where she's at today. And Naomi, I'm on board with her. I want her to have a title run. I would love to see her win this. Tiffany, though, she's very, there's a draw aspect to Tiffany. She draws you in.
Yeah,
it's amazing to see her progression. Every woman that is around this title, the progression that they've had in their career is just amazing. Just amazing.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, man. I think that I really think we're at a pivotal point with the women's division. Like I said, we saw those 7 releases. But we see a turnover happening, and like that's something I want to talk about in a future episode if we can, is the turnover of the wrestling right now. I remember when Becky Lynch and Bayley and Charlotte Flair were just cutting their teeth. You know what I'm saying? And now we're at a point where these women are like, well, I got to start thinking about my next chapter. I got to start thinking about what I'm going to do next. And now we have a completely different crop of talent. You know, you got Roman Reigns saying, I only got about another year or two. Brother, I remember when Roman Reigns was in developmental. And now he's talking about the end of his wrestling career. What? John Cena's finishing up. What? Like we gotta have there's a passing of the torch that's going on in wrestling right now, and I think we need to have that conversation. We most certainly will. And I want to get some of Grun's thoughts on the state of the women's division. Before we do that, man, Hype, I know you got to roll, bro. I'm gonna get you out of here, bro, because you get to do family, man. Why don't you go ahead and give us, if you can, bro, give us your Backlash predictions and just, you know, wherever you want to plug.
Okay. So run down the Backlash card real quick. Let's see. We're starting off John Cena, Randy Orton. I think John Cena is going to retain. No big spoiler there. But probably something big will happen, I would assume. Or something else will happen, or we'll just get normal or just dry ass John Cena, and people will hate that. Lyra Valkyrie versus Becky Lynch. I think we see Becky Lynch take this year Intercontinental title. And you know, she's Becky, give me the belts. And I think she's showing that in winning tag team titles, then dropping them immediately to go after the Intercontinental Gold. Pat McAfee versus Gunther. I don't even know why this is a match, to be honest. I don't know why Pat McAfee gave that impassioned speech on Raw. It was good as fuck, but no, this is not the guy. This is not the guy that you need to be going up against, man. I don't know. And then the US title with the Fatal 4-Way.
Yep.
So Jacob has to retain this, but I don't know. Maybe they're trying to go in a different direction. I could see a Damian Priest sneaking this out. Just shot in the dark. I see Damian Priest coming out with this U.S. title. We see a short run from Jacob, but maybe we see more to happen. Plus, you always got Solo lurking. I don't know what he has going on, but I dare to say whatever he has going on may cause Jacob to lose this title. Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. I definitely think we'll see Jey Uso retaining over Logan Paul, but we'll see a damn good match, and then we'll have to talk about how Logan Paul is pretty good at this wrestling thing.
It kills me too, man.
I know. But honestly, I can't wait to talk about that match because it will. I'm sure it'll be a banger. And then we have Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax on deck for the women's title. And I don't know. I think it's time for Tiffany to drop the strap. But I don't know. I'm just, as I look at things storyline wise, I'm like, do we want her to drop it to Nia, or is it the next? So like I don't know. But I could definitely see Nia Jax picking up that strap in that title at Backlash, bro. But anyways, my name has been Hypocrisy Jones. You can catch me right here generally every Sunday on the Sunday House Party. Now, quick programming note: we have no Sunday House Party next week. Or next Sunday, because it's Mother's Day and we all came from mother, whether you like it or not. We're gonna take the day off. So No, so quick programming note for that. But then when we come back on the, what is it, the 18th, we'll be looking at the In Your House draft. So that's going to be
Yes.
huge. I think Connell will give you more information as the show goes on. But like I said, you can catch me right here generally every Sunday doing IYH things at the IYH Sunday House Party. I have a Facebook page or whatever. Sometimes I put jokes on there. It's Hypocrisy Jones, as you see right there. But other than that, it's been fun. It's been live. I love your guys' faces. But I'm out. Peace.
All right. Peace out, brother. That was Hypocrisy Jones. And he gave his picks for Backlash, and we'll be back. And he'll be back for the Sunday House Party when we do the draft. But, Grun, I want to get some of your thoughts on the women's division. Go ahead and shoot it to me real quick, bro.
Right now, I think the women's division, I think the best way to describe it is a rebuilding period. Yeah, if you've been watching LFG, most of the women there have potential and have been much more surprising in how well they've done so far than I think what was expected. Bailey Humphrey, for one, definitely did not expect her to like her as much as I have. Big, large woman. She looks like a monster, and you know what? She says, "All right, you think I'm a monster? I'm gonna give that to you." You hit. I can't remember what that move was, Josh. That she hit. That's her float over, lift over, power bomb, sort of slam.
Yeah.
It just looks so badass when she did it, so I think what we're seeing is that the women of LFG are going to be moving to NXT very soon, and so I don't think it's too out of the realm to think that some of the women that are currently in NXT, maybe more than just Julia, Stephanie, and Roxanne, are going to the main roster. I think we're going to see Lash Legend go to the main roster. I think we're going to see, I'm thinking, who else is there? JC Jane and Fatal Influence. I think if you keep the three of them together, you can cover up Jasmine Nix. You can cover up anything that Fallon Henley still needs to work on. And then, as I was saying, the House, I think we're going to see more than a few women from LFG debut on NXT rather soon, even if they don't win the competition.
I could see that, bro, because if you remember Tough Enough, I mean, you would see Tough Enough runner-ups or something still show up. You know what I'm saying? So I think they are going to fill out. And then there's still the possibility of some of them going over to Evolve. Evolve is another option as well they could do, but most definitely NXT, because NXT, I feel like they're shooting up like Julia. She wasn't on NXT that long, and it seemed like she's about to be on the main roster already. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's definitely Roxanne Perez, her spot. She's jumping up. So I just think that this women's division, it's moving so quick. And like you and Voice have been saying, there's a lot of potential over LFG. I could definitely see an opportunity where a lot of these women do end up on the show sooner rather than later.
Yeah, there's a huge well over there at LFG, and I'm sorry, but there's one lady over there that they could easily replace with Zelina Vega, and you might enjoy the product a little bit better. She has this charisma about her that is very drawing, and that's who I liken her to. Brittany Humphrey, like you were speaking of, Grun, she's just a monster amongst women. She is the next dominant force to come into this program, and like Taker has said, there's just so much potential with her because of the unique look of her, that they can she could be a female Kane. Like there's it's insane. Like all I can, a female Andre the Giant. Like all I can think of is your obscure just giant men, and you could replace Brittany Humphrey there. Steel, she, like I've said, you got to get her away from Taker. Get her away from Taker, put her with somebody else. She's going to develop in a different light. This going for her being a heel villain, it's not going to benefit her right now. She doesn't know how to do that. She knows how to be happy, be smiling, and be grateful for every opportunity she gets. I mean, just go back and watch her Olympic gold medal interview right after winning it. She draped herself in the American flag and just said how much she loves this place. That's what I would focus on. You make her the female Kurt Angle. You give her that platform. You let her develop in that way.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it because I think that when I heard that she had signed with the company, that was the exact lane that I thought she should have been in for sure. It felt like the right time. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a black woman representing America, I think good for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wins in that when all different ethnic groups are showing love to this country that we all share together. And I think it's a good look. She's an Olympic gold medalist. It's and she's here from what you guys are telling me, developing really well over in LFG. I want to see it. I want to see it for sure. I think there's a big lane for that for sure. This women's division, period, across the board in WWE, it's heating up. It's firing up for sure. But hey, guys, also we got the IYH draft that's heating up, firing up. Like my man Hype said, we are going to be pushing it back because, the women, the mothers, we got to show love to them, and we don't want to be taking over that day and whatnot. So we're going to give it to a completely different day, the 18th, straight up. It's going to be great. The IYH draft is going to be fire. But hey, we got to get some predictions from the remaining host here, my guy Grun, Voice, and myself. We're going to do that, but real quick, we're going to take a quick break, pay some bills, remind you a little bit about what's going down on the IYH draft, and when we come back, get those predictions.
Hello everyone, it's the Pope Elijah Burke, founder and president of the Love Alive charity. I wanted to take this brief moment to share with you my charity's continued humanitarian efforts to positively impact the impoverished communities in and around the greater Jacksonville area. This cannot be possible without your support. If you'd be so kind, please take a moment to visit our website, love-alive.org, to learn more about the charity and its mission. Also, feel free to donate to our 501c3 organization that operates off of the donation of the public, which is you. Whether that be by website or via Cash App, $1 help makes a difference in the lives of others as we continue to positively influence many people by being the change that we wish to see in the world.
Exciting things are happening at the Kokomo Press. Yeah, very exciting things. Not only are we bringing you comedy shows, an open mic once a week, skits, videos, funny jokes on our page, and satire news stories, but now you can support us by going to kokomopress.shop. It's that simple. You go to kokomopress.shop, you find a t-shirt, you find a hat, maybe in the future some stickers and some posters. You go on there, you buy one of those from us, and percentage of the proceeds will go to us and help support what we do. We appreciate every person who just likes, subscribes, does all that. But if you go to kokomopress.shop and you buy something, we'll know who you are. You send us a photo of it. We will post it on our page and shout it out. Thank you so much. Go to kokomopress.shop, buy all your shirts and hats needs, and support the Kokomo Press. Thank you guys so much. kokomopress.shop.
What's up, guys? It's Alakan, the Concept House, executive producer of In Your House, and it's that time of year again for the In Your House draft. 4 teams, 30-second rounds, 15 picks, and a huge draft board starting off here with Monday Night Raw. Now, like I said, this is going to be a 4-team draft with 15 picks in 30-second rounds as we move on to the Smackdown draft board. All these picks are eligible. You can pick tag teams or faction up to 3. Anything more than that is not allowed. We have the NXT roster available, including Joe Hendry from TNA. And to mix it up, we have a little AEW in the mix here. who's going to have the best draft board here, who is going to have the best draft. You can check it out on May 18th on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook, or on demand on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Come join us. Who's going to have the best team at the In Your House draft? That's right, guys. Once again, it's the return of the In Your House draft, and it is going to be a big one. May 18th, we're dedicating the whole day to it. It's draft season. We just had the NFL draft. Presumably, possibly a WWE draft is being talked about. Are we going back in that direction? But what we can absolutely confirm is that the In Your House draft is back, and it is going to be a great day. And you guys in the household will be able to measure our picks. Who's going to have the best brand as spoken by the household? We're going to find out May 18th. It's going to be a great time. But, man, we have got to ride this one out. Get ready to call this a great episode and right off into the sunset. But before we do that, we got Backlash coming up, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be this coming Saturday, St. Louis, Missouri. It's going to be a good show for sure, with some great matches there. Like we had alluded to earlier with my man Hype, we got Jey Uso and Logan Paul. Looks like that's happening. Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax, that's going down. Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, Damian Priest, United States Championship, Gunther versus Pat McAfee, Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch, and John Cena versus Randy Orton for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Let me put to my man Grunt here. Who do you got, man? Give me your predictions.
So I think Gunther beats Pat McAfee. Shocker. I think. As for the rest that we got the Fatal 4-Way. Wait, now that I think Solo Sikoa wins. I don't think that's up for debate. If you think it is, you're not reading the room, because you're not thinking about all the possibilities of what they're going to do. Solo Sikoa, I think, is going to be the one to dethrone Jacob Fatu. That is what I'm thinking. And he's going to have help not from the Tongans. And, Lyra Okay, I thought you were both frozen.
No, I was listening.
No. Oh, we're listening, man.
Like you were both.
I was like,
wait,
because I was like, I don't think it's so. How's Solo getting in this match? That was what I was wondering.
No.
Me too.
I don't think so. No, hold on. I didn't say Solo's getting in this match. I said Solo's going to be the one to dethrone him. Because
I'm with you now. Okay,
it's being reported a certain Jeffrey Cobb is going to the main roster. I'm thinking Jeff Cobb and Jacob Fatu. That is the feud. That is the next feud they build if they're gonna go Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa.
Holy hell! So are you saying Solo is about to bring in Cobb as a new heater,
as a new enforcer? And
okay, I'm with you now.
Jeff Cobb, Jacob Fatu. That is your big beefy boy doing big beefy boy things.
All right, I'm on board now. You got me now. I'm with it now. All right, keep on going. Give it to us, bro.
Now, Lyra Valkyria, I think she needs to lose. I think Becky Lynch needs to win the Women's Intercontinental title, because Lyra, she still has some growing to do, and I don't think she gains anything from beating Becky here. I think Becky being put up as the women's IC champion and Lyra fighting, scratching, and crawling back, I think that builds Lyra up more than Becky winning or losing, rather. Our final match, John Cena, Randy Orton. Look, it's Randy Orton's hometown, but I think Cody Rhodes is the one to dethrone John Cena, so I don't think John Cena loses here.
Okay, all right. So, Tiffany and Nia, who do you got? Did you already say that one?
I did not, but I think Tiffany retains. I don't think
Tiffany retains. Okay.
I see it more likely that we see Tiffany is eventually going to bring back her phrase of she is the center of the universe. And she's going to start saying it more and more. Fans are going to start hating her because she's going to turn heel.
Okay. Okay. I like it. I like it. I especially like the Jeff Cobb because I have heard rumors that Jeff Cobb is signed they're about to bring him up straight to the main roster. I've been seeing that on X. I've been seeing that on Facebook. And if you're going to do that, how do you do it to make it a way that's impactful, not just not anything against the way they brought back Rusev or Aleister Black, but like I don't want them to keep with that formula. So if they did something like, hey, let's make him Solo's new enforcer, so that way he can say, oh, I've always couldn't stand you, Jacob. I always was using you, blah, blah, this and that. And then boom, you got that story there for Jacob, keeps him occupied. You move on the United States Championship to somebody else if that's what you choose to do, and you can move from there. I like that a lot. But Voice, your predictions, who do you got, bro?
So the John Cena Orton, it's got to be Cena. It makes no sense. I mean, that's very story driven, so they're going to keep that on him. Lyra versus Becky, I agree with Grun. You got to have Becky win this. Honestly, if Lyra didn't have that title, I would have cut her. I mean, she
It's
to
tough.
me is. Yeah, she's really basic, and I don't get it. She's not connecting for me as a fan. Pat McAfee, Gunther. I would love to see Pat McAfee win it just because I'm still stuck on the idea of Grun talking about Gunther going to the complete bottom, and just losing his title isn't the bottom. You have to lose to somebody who, I don't know, Pat McAfee's stature. He's a commentator. He came from football. He's not a trained professional wrestler. So I would love to go in that route. But I think Gunther's going to win it. The United States Fatal 4. I have a feeling that it's going to be similar to what Jones said, in which Solo is either going to there's a possibility he's going to cost Jacob the United States title, and in that way that would be the extra cherry on top of why Solo's got to bring in Jeff, because Solo will be extremely upset. They could do, though, where Solo helps Jacob retain the title. In that scenario, then you have Solo looking at Jacob saying, hey, I'm the reason you have that, and always remember that. Jacob gets so upset about it, then you introduce they jump Jacob, introduced Jeff that way. So I like that angle. That would be either one of those would be the way I would roll with this. Depend if you're going to bring him in that faction. What else did I miss? There's one I'm missing.
Let's see. We've got. Did you do Jey Uso and Logan Paul?
I did not do that one.
Okay, there we go.
I would honestly like to see Logan Paul have a very heelish run, because I think.
Oh, you just want chaos on the internet.
I do, because this is Backlash. This is Backlash. Backlash is important in the dynamic of PLEs, because Backlash is where you get your revenge. Backlash is where you take what you felt should have been yours at WrestleMania, and it would be so just kick all the fans in the face to have Logan Paul for just a few weeks running around with the world title. I don't need him to have it for long, but I don't need him to take it right now. I think Jay deserves a little title run. He deserves something that has meat. He deserves something that builds up for his next title run. So that's where I'm at with Backlash. This is one of my favorite PLEs they ever do because of the chaos that can ensue. I love a good No Way Out. I love a good Armageddon. These
Yes,
are
sir.
my favorite types of PLEs. So I'm super stoked for Backlash.
You get it, man. You get it. You understand the Armageddons, the No Way Outs, the Backlashes, and the purpose that they serve within the dynamic of WWE and when the dust is settled outside of WrestleMania. So you totally get that. My picks, man, I struggled with this one really hard, but I think I'm gonna pull it. I'm just gonna pull it, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't care. I just like the idea of it. The way they've been pushing Jade, I really feel like that we're gonna see Jade hold the title sooner rather than later. And how do you do that? I think you do that possibly by maybe flip-flopping the title, get off Nia Jax. And then from Nia Jax, you have the big woman competition between Jade Cargill and Nia Jax, and maybe do it at Backlash. Maybe what you or not at Backlash at SummerSlam. Maybe what you could do is also. So now I'm just kind of working myself through it. You could also bring back the Queen of the Ring tournament, and you could have Jade Cargill win the Queen of the Ring tournament, and that solidifies her for a spot at SummerSlam. So. Okay, I'm flipping right back around because I think what's gonna happen is Tiffany Stratton is gonna retain at Backlash, and then Tiffany Stratton is it's gonna be a placeholder until Naomi loses that championship or wins that championship. Naomi wins the championship. I'd have Naomi hold the championship up until SummerSlam when you have Jade Cargill, who won the Queen of the Ring tournament and solidified her spot at SummerSlam. Then you revisit this feud between Naomi and Jade Cargill at a big stage like SummerSlam. Naomi champion in that she's in that match. Jade Cargill, she cashed her ticket by winning the Queen of the Ring tournament. Then you have a big opportunity where you have Jade Cargill win the women's championship at a big stage like SummerSlam, New York, New Jersey, and against her biggest rival, Naomi. So if I'm booking it, that's where I'm going. But for Backlash, I'm saying that Tiffany Stratton's going to retain. Jey Uso, as far as the World Heavyweight Championship goes, I think it would be interesting to see Logan Paul take the title off him just because of the discord that would go across the internet. But I don't think they're ready to take that chance yet. I think Jey Uso is going to retain. I think Jey Uso is going to retain against Logan Paul, man. And they want Logan Paul in those situations. But I think they're testing the waters to see if he'll be ready for a World Heavyweight Championship run, maybe later on down the line. But right now, I think it's Jey Uso's time. The United States Championship match, as much as I went round and round with the women's title, I'm having a bigger issue with this one because Jacob is great as a champion. Drew McIntyre's in that mix. LA Knight's in that mix. Damian Priest is also in that mix. I don't think LA Knight goes back that route. I don't think he's going to go back in the route of the United States Championship. I think that they're going to move forward and do some different things with him. Honestly, if I were them, I would put LA Knight on Monday Night Raw and start giving him opportunities for the World Heavyweight Championship at some point down the line, just because, I mean, maybe he could be like, if John Cena does like a Saturday night main event, I mean, yeah, John Cena versus LA Knight at a Saturday night main event for the Undisputed Championship, right there. That's a good spot right there. But I definitely wouldn't do LA Knight and John Cena at a SummerSlam or a Survivor Series or anything like that. You know, if you're gonna do LA Knight and John Cena, do it at a Saturday night main event. I think that's a good spot for it for sure. But I can't see Jacob when I'm taking all the elements and the fact that Solo was scheming so heavily on Jacob. Just can't see Jacob coming out with this title. I think it's a possibility where you could see Damian Priest win the championship. Damian Priest is somebody who took him off of Monday Night Raw and to get him away from the Judgment Day and to give him some fresh matchups. And here he is on Friday Night Smackdown. And I got to tell you, bro, as somebody who went nuts on my couch when he cashed in and became the World Heavyweight Champion, I enjoyed his heavyweight championship run. my God, is Damian Priest a snooze fest right now? Like, my God. So maybe they try to maybe line him up as a United States champion and maybe give him that to try to give him a lane. Because I think the biggest thing with Damian Priest is that he has no lane right now. So maybe you do that. I don't know. I really don't know. I just don't see it going back to LA Knight. But if you put it on Drew McIntyre, then Drew McIntyre has a case to where he's saying he's the most important champion on SmackDown. And as long as he's the United States champion and John Cena is making limited appearances, he's the guy. And I think that's a lane where you could do that. And you could, that would help elevate Drew back into the world championship scene. You know, because I'd like to see John Cena and Drew McIntyre at some point down the line. That'd be a dope match. We'll see how it goes. We'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, I guess if you're asking me, if you put a gun to my head, I'm saying Damian Priest is going to win it and come out champion, not because Jacob Fatu couldn't defend it, but because Solo Sikoa screwed him in some kind of way, whether it be Jeff Cobb or some other way. Gunther versus Pat McAfee. I like Pat McAfee. I'm a huge fan of him. I don't give a damn about this match. Gunther's going to put him to sleep. He's going to make him go night-night, and that's it. You know, Women's Intercontinental Championship. I love Lyra Valkyria. I've championed Lyra Valkyria for a long time on this show, whether it be on the Raw deal, whether it be on Sundays here at the Sunday House Party. I've always spoke highly of Lyra Valkyria. With that being said, she needs to lose this title. Becky Lynch is the right person to win the Intercontinental Championship right now because the Intercontinental Championship, along with the United States Championship, are in a point of peril right now. You, like I've been saying, the theme of the show is you gutted a lot of that mid-card that could have fought for those titles. They've been contenders for those titles. Now you got to do something else with the Intercontinental Championship. Lyra Valkyria versus champion for sure. But if you expect me to think that she's going to retain against Becky Lynch, who is a title collector in WWE, I just don't believe it. I think that Becky's going to beat her. I think she's going to be the next big-time Intercontinental Champion. And I think that if they can do that, they're going to help catapult that Women's Intercontinental Championship scene in a way that Lyra Valkyria just can't do it right now. She just can't. You know, you want to make it feel more important, we got to have matches like Becky Lynch versus Bayley for the Intercontinental Championship. Lyra Valkyria just isn't there yet. As much as I'm a fan of her, she's not. If you want me to care about that Women's Intercontinental Championship, give me 20-minute classics between Becky Lynch and Bayley, and boom, that's how you make that title important. It needs to go to Becky Lynch right now, just because Lyra's not it right now. And John Cena versus Randy Orton, they're going to be a great match. It's going to be a lot of callbacks and a lot of nostalgia between these two men for sure. And, you know, a lot of people were saying, oh, well, the build-up's been short. You already know John Cena's going to win this and this and that. It's been a slow build-up. Yeah, it's been a slow build-up, but you know what? When you have years of history like these men do, you can use that to help speed up the trajectory of the feud. And that's exactly what they've been doing, as we've seen clips from years past between the feuds of Randy Orton and John Cena from the late 2000s to the early 2010s, and the feud that they had and everything that's happened. We know it. We've seen it happen. So for that, the booking's perfect. It's happening in St. Louis. It's going to be these two men going up against each other. A lot of callbacks. It is what it is. Randy Orton's not winning. Do I think that he's going to win number 15 at some point? Yeah, but he's got a lot left in the tank, more than what John Cena has or was going to be given, because he's only got a few appearances left. John Cena is going to retain that title, but Randy Orton's going to touch it at some point down the line. And that is my Backlash predictions for another great episode here in your house, between some great creators that come together, and we just talk wrestling and make it a vibe, bro. Like Voice has been saying, we're going to be making some changes here. It's going to be a good shift. It's going to be a situation where we're going to be able to give better content, and I like where it's moving, y'all, and I think you guys are too. Once again, next week, no Sunday House Party. We're going to be taking the week off to celebrate the mothers, but the Sunday House Party returns. We're going to be doing the In Your House draft. That's going to be a big time situation. We'll play that commercial for you one more time before we get out of here, but we're going to slide out of here. And when I do that, I got to give my guys here an opportunity to plug anything they need to plug, because they don't just create here. They create in many other places, and they always come and give their time to this team. So I got to throw it to my man Grun. Where can they catch you in everything that you're doing, man?
You can catch me at twitch.tv/Grunmeister every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, where I am doing the Grun Zoom Smackdown preview review show. So be sure to hit a follow because you never know. Maybe something changed. Maybe I do it early, or maybe I'm gaming.
You never know. You never
Yep.
know what this man is doing for sure. But we enjoy it and we enjoy everything that you do. Voice, you're somebody who's got a lot of stuff moving as well. I mean, a lot of great shows that you're doing, whether it be on Monday or on Thursdays. We just had a great ECW watch along. That was a fun. We switched it up a little bit. We've been doing shows. This time we did a match. We did Terry Funk and Seth for the ECW Championship barbed wire match. That was fun. But speaking of Sabu, you were the producer of Sabu Speaks, man. You got a lot of things going on, but you can tell it better than what I can. I'm just excited for you, man. Where can they catch you at exactly? The times, yada, yada, yada. Let them know, bro.
All right, so fans, if you're ready to come aboard the Window Lickers train and what we're all doing here as this big community, it is Monday, 7 p.m. You can catch me and Grunmeister and the Chaos Goblin, Kevin Calloway, where we talk Monday Night Raw. We give you 3 subjects. Usually the first one is the one I dish out. I say feast upon it, and then my co-hosts take over and they force feed you what we're going to talk about. But it's enjoyable and they let you, let them know it was good. So come join us at 7 p.m. every Monday night. It's a fun time. Tuesday nights, I am now the official producer of Sabu Speaks. It's where Sabu, he fucking speaks. He comes out there with some of his great co-hosts. You have Dirty Dick Flair, and you have Josh Greenberg, 2 great hosts that bring Sabu to the fans. This week, we have Joey Janelle coming on, and he is discussing the barbed wire match between him and Sabu. So come be a part of that. That is 9 p.m. Tuesdays on Sabu's Twitch channel. That's The Real Sabu. Now on that, we are going to be expanding into other platforms, but for right now, it's centralized. Outside of that, there's this Thursday thing called the ECW Watch Along, where me and Howse, we watch ECW. That's at 5 p.m. on a Thursday. And like he said, last week was amazing. It was born to be wired. Terry Funk, Sabu, just making a bloody mess of each other.
Oh my God.
We didn't get to watch the whole thing. It got cut because, well, there's certain things in that match you really can't show people who aren't ready for it. But it's a fun time. That's 5 p.m. on a Thursday. Outside of that, it is a Sunday house party. You've seen it. You were here. You know what we do. It's a fun time. It's where who's ever available in the household, we get on here and we talk wrestling. Usually it's the core 4, but it always can be more. So come join us, be a part of this, like, subscribe, and be in contact with what we're doing because we're constantly growing. The next few weeks are going to be something visually different for everybody here and more entertaining for you out there. So everybody bear with us. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, because we're getting ready to customize in your house to you, the household.
Oh man, that's going to be exciting times. We're going to definitely give you guys more information as we roll it out. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff to look forward to, ladies and gentlemen. I'm always excited about the growth in your house because that's exactly why we've been around for as long as we've been around. 6 years strong because we're always growing. We're always finding new ways to stay interactive with the household, new followers, whatever it may be. Like my man said, give us a follow, give us a subscription, whatever it is, because I promise you, we got a good group of creators that are passionate and love to entertain you guys and be informative about professional wrestling. It's a great, great time. And that's all part of the work. And it's HOWSC, and that W does stand for work. So for Hypocrisy Jones, for the Grunmeister, for the voice, Josh Joseph, and for the whole team here at In Your House, I am Alakan, the Concept House, here to remind you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to hop on this bandwagon. Get on or get gone, because the household is still going mighty strong. Hey, you guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace. What's up, guys? It's Alakan, the Concept House, executive producer of In Your House, and it's that time of year again for the In Your House draft. 4 teams, 30-second rounds, 15 picks, and a huge draft board starting off here with Monday Night Raw. Now, like I said, this is going to be a 4-team draft with 15 picks in 30-second rounds as we move on to the Smackdown draft board. All these picks are eligible. You can pick tag teams or faction up to 3. Anything more than that is not allowed. We have the NXT roster available, including Joe Hendry from TNA, and to mix it up, we have a little AEW in the mix here. Who's going to have the best draft board here? Who is going to have the best draft? You can check it out on May 18th on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook, or on demand on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Come join us. Who's going to have the best team at the In Your House draft?
Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We is them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.